my darkest moment as a man.
Uh-huh.
So my darkest moment as a man, right, is the first and only time I hit a woman.
You hit a woman?
Yeah. So this is a situation, right? So darkest moment as a man, right? I'm in a situation with this chick. We dating back and forth for years, like over 5, 6 years, right? So we on and off back and forth. And we came to a point where we started dating again. She has an ex that, she was dealing with while we was off. And she's going back and forth,
Between
right?
you and him.
Yeah. I'm in too deep. Should have walked away from the situation. Couldn't walk away from the situation. Emotionally, couldn't let the situation go.
Yeah.
So it's back and forth between me and him, right? So
Been there.
it came to a head, and I'm just like, hey, what you gonna do? Like, is you gonna date me? You gonna date him? Which is like a very, as a man, that's like a very small place to be, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So she, crying, this, that. Ooh, I say, you know what? I'm gonna make the decision myself. Don't worry about it. You can do whatever you're gonna do. I'm done with the situation, right? So in my mind, I hit a switch and said, like, I'm done. I'm cool. Later that day, I get longest text I ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's figure it out. Ooh, I want to make it work. Da, da, da. I say, okay, cool. I'm gonna think about it, but my homie from Houston was like, hey, I want to come. I'm gonna come to Chicago. I want to stay at your crib for a couple days. And I say, you know what? When you come to Chicago, stay at my crib for a couple days. I'm gonna go to Houston and stay at your crib for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? Just to get out, clear my head, whatever.
Yeah.
So I really went to Houston and just stayed in his crib and just didn't go nowhere for days. And I'm just chilling. So the whole time I'm down there, she texting me like, all right, we're gonna work this out. Woo, it's gonna be cool. I love you, this, that, da da da. I'm like, all right, cool. We're gonna try to figure it out when I get back. Come back to Chicago, maybe a week go by, and I'm at her crib chilling, and I get a call from my employer at the time, and they telling me to hop on the meeting, but I didn't have my laptop, so I asked her to use her laptop. Mm-hmm. I get on the laptop, I'm in a meeting, and text messages keep popping up on the side of the screen while I'm in a meeting. I'm ignoring the shit. So eventually, a text come up, unsaved number, and it was some sexual shit, right? So I click on the text, I open it, start reading, and mind you, she's in the next room. Like I can look over and see her from where I am, and this is a live text conversation. She's texting this person right now. So as I'm reading the text conversation, I realized that she was fucking dude the whole time I was in Houston, right? And like while she was texting me, like, all this work this out, she with this nigga the whole time I'm in Houston, and she texting them right now about like some sexual shit, like right now, like in this very moment,
in the house.
like in this very moment, right? Like I can see her from where I'm sitting at. So like I'm hot, right? So you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, what the fuck going on? Da, da, da. So I sit her down. Well, she sit down, and I'm like, why the fuck would you tell me that we gonna do this, we gonna do that, and the whole time you still doing the same shit? And her response was something about like me. It was something like, well, if you wouldn't have, da, 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 and I just like lost it. Like I just lost it. So I lost it, and like I slapped her, right? I slapped her. She fell on the floor, and like I kind of like picked her up a little bit, like maybe 6 inches off the floor, and threw her back down. I did that shit like twice, and I like immediately like after that like snapped out of the shit. Shit lasted like 7 seconds, right? So I snapped out of the shit, but I snapped out of it because like out of all my years of knowing her, regardless of what she did, or what I did, regardless of, we had a lot of back and forth in this situation. It wasn't like she just wasn't the only one. I did a lot of fucked up shit too throughout the situation. It's just at the moment, you know what I'm saying, that's what was happening. Now, throughout our whole time knowing each other, she's like a very nice, mild-mannered, one of the nicest people you would meet, you know what I'm saying, as far as her personality, like how she come off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I had never seen her look terrified before. And that's what made me snap out of the shit. I had never seen like fear in her eyes before. Like, and that shit made me feel like a fucking monster. Like in that moment, like it made me feel like, it was like I feel like I shrunk in a moment, but I also felt just like a demon. Like I felt like I didn't even know who I was no more. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I'm not the victim in that situation, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But my the moral fabric of who I was like completely destroyed, because I was always the type of nigga who like shitted on niggas who hit women. Like I've always been the type of nigga like, bro, you a weak ass nigga, you put your hands on a woman. So in that moment, I just felt like I was lost. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I was kind of like completely destroyed, just like morally. And from that moment, I felt like I would never be in this place again. You know what I'm saying? Like right in that moment, I felt like I'd never be in this place again. And I felt like it was a dark place because the feeling, like if I had to describe the feeling, is that you can't stop loving this person, but you can't make them love you back. You know what I'm saying? Or I feel like you're the love of my life, but I'm not the love of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a very tough and hard position to be in. It's like, it's also a very helpless position to be in because there's nothing you can do to change that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no amount of gifts you could buy. It's nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like at that point, sometimes if your foundation is fucked up, it's good to just destroy all the way and just rebuild. That's the perfect opportunity to rebuild. So I feel like from that point to today, it's just been like a complete rebuild. You know what I'm saying? On who I am as a man, self-worth, confidence, self-love, discipline, everything has just been better. You know what I'm saying? And now I feel like that my rebuild is complete as a man is the perfect time to create a platform to help other men do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, we kind of broken as like boys a lot of time, and we just kind of perpetuate a lot of different cycles through our life. So I'm not going to let this situation make me hate women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let this situation make me deprive myself of love and new experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, I go from like someone else hurting me to now I'm hurting myself because I'm letting this situation just fester on, and I'm projecting whatever insecurities I picked up on other people. So it was very important for me to like get in therapy. I think I was already in therapy at the time, which is crazy. I had just started, but rebuilding all those type of things. So moving on